Hey, welcome back. I am going to run you through a very simplified routine, but it's a stunner routine. It's something that I reach for when I have a special occasion. It's something that is definitely elevated from my daily makeup, but it's still very minimal. We're gonna be using probably between like 6 to 7 products for this. Your skin's gonna be polished. The skin is definitely going to be the main focus of this video. It also does not take up any time at all. So just really a nice routine that you can go to for special occasions. I am partnering with Armani Beauty again and Sephora. It is a pleasure to partner with them to talk about one of my favorite foundations. So I'm gonna be using Luminous Silk. Ride or Die. This is the foundation that I reach for anytime I have a special occasion to attend. It is that foundation. It's not too much coverage, but it's also not too sheer of coverage. It just gives you the perfect amount of versatility. So that's what I'm gonna start out with today. My shade is 3.8. I also wear the shade 4. They're very similar. So I always like to reference that because the Armani Luminous Silk shade range is pretty expansive. It's pretty big. And I know sometimes I get comments asking, which shade to go with. So those are my two kind of perfect matches. And I'm gonna be using about 2.5 pumps for today's look. That's gonna give me a nice, just light medium coverage. There's something really magical about this formula in the sense that personally I feel it works for all skin types and it gives you coverage but with the skin-like finish. I always find that my face just looks, we've got one pump on this side's bare. I don't know what's going on with this guy back here. Anyways, still very skin-like, very polished finish. I also find that no matter what application method that I use, whether it is a brush, a sponge, my hands, it always looks the same. It always turns out looking super hyper realistic and just ultimately very skin-like, but also flawless and put together. Now, oftentimes with this foundation, I'll skip out on concealer because I just find that almost less is more with it. I really enjoy the raw and real appearance of it, so I try not to layer too many products on top of it. But I am going to use the Luminous Silk concealer, the matching concealer, just to brighten up underneath the eyes. I am going to sculpt my face a little bit, so I want my under eye area to have a little bit of brightness. So I'm just taking the shade number 3 in Luminous Silk Concealer. I'm just lightly going to blend that out. Perfect. Now we're going to take a little bit of Neo Nude Contour. This is something that I have raved about in past videos. It's a liquid bronzer contour. I use the shade 21 and it is basically a godsend if you struggle with cream or liquid bronzers in general, but you want to start exploring the formulas more. This is a beautiful place to start. Look, that alone has given me so much more definition just by the small amount that I've applied. It also blends out seamlessly into the skin, so I always just recommend this formula for easy application. So like I said, less is more with this formula. I don't generally powder it, but if you are combination oily, feel free to give it a little bit of powder to extend longevity or just to help absorb some excess oil. But I just always find the longevity is pretty much the same for me if I powder or not, and I really just like the natural skin-like finish of it by itself. So moving on to the eyes, I'm going to do a light wash of the Armani eye tint. This is in the shade number 12. It's just a really beautiful kind of champagne tone. And then I want to kind of work with a little bit more of like a blown out wing, especially for those of you who are into like the precision wing. This is something that's super easy to do. So just gonna throw this on. It is stunning. It's so easy to use. Look. Chef's kiss. All right, so I'm just gonna take a brown liner and basically I'm just going to use my brush to smudge this and create a little bit of a foxy eye going on here. You don't really even need a specific brush for this. I'm just using my general blending brush and I'm just gonna kind of smudge it into my eye. It does not have to be perfect. And then what I like to do is basically just take my finger and pat out that edge and you'll get a nice little blended cat eye, foxy eye. What are they calling it these days? Course, a little bit of mascara. The lip is going to be pretty bold, so I'm just keeping the eyes very simplified here. So I'm just going to pop on a nice volumizing mascara and we'll move on to the lip. So for my lips, I'm going to be using this gorgeous shade of red. This is the Armani Lip Maestro. It's a very interesting formula, very moussey, and so I'm going to use a little bit of the excess on my cheeks since we skipped out on blush, just to help tie the look together, give it a little bit more of a cohesive vibe. But this is kind of a customizable lip. You can go pretty full on with it. I'm going to work and kind of give it like a smudge stain appearance. So it's good neutral tone. It's got a perfect balance of like a blue and also a little bit of orange in it. Okay, we are done. Just a reminder, just an example that less can still be more. I truly think when you have a nice, perfect base, the rest of your makeup really feeds off of that and you don't have to really do as much. So this is kind of like my special occasion polished makeup look. I hope you all enjoyed it. Truly, Armani Luminous Silk, beautiful. Always in my top 5. I just recently recommended it when Sephora did their 20% off foundation sale. So I always have it in my top recommendations category. So I hope you enjoyed seeing it in action and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.